Today, we're jumping into a really beautiful, powerful story by Vali Kannan called Madam Rides the Bus. It's all about a little girl's first big solo adventure, a journey that starts out full of wonder and ends with a much deeper look into life itself. But before we meet her, just take a second and think about this for yourself. What was your first taste of real independence? Maybe it was just walking to the corner store alone or taking a trip by yourself for the first time. Try to remember that feeling because we're about to see just how much a small journey can change a person's entire world. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's meet the star of our story. Her name is Vali. She's only 8 years old, and she has this one single-minded dream. And that dream is all about this magnificent thing that rumbles past her house every single hour of the day.
For Vali, her whole world was pretty much what she could see from her front door. She didn't really have any friends her age, so her favorite thing to do was just stand there and watch life go by on the street. And for her, this wasn't boring at all. It was a constant source of unusual experiences. She was a born observer, just soaking it all in.
So, of all the things happening on the street, what was the one thing that just captivated her? Yeah, it was the bus. It was this connection between her tiny village and the much bigger world of the town. To her, it was basically a mystery on wheels, representing everything she hadn't seen yet. And think about the feeling here. This wasn't just mild interest. The story actually calls it unending joy. Every single time that bus went by, packed with a new set of faces, it lit this tiny spark inside her. And that little spark grew and grew until it became this overwhelming desire to be one of them. But here's the thing about Vali. She wasn't just some daydreamer. Oh no. She was a planner. This wasn't just a fantasy. She started gathering information like a little detective, listening in on conversations, asking casual little questions. She figured out how long the trip was, and most importantly, how much it cost, 30 paise each way. And then came the really hard part, saving up every single coin she could find, fighting off every temptation, all for this one big goal. So, after all that meticulous planning, all that careful saving, the day finally comes. On a beautiful spring afternoon, Vali decides it's time. She's putting her plan into action, and her whole world is about to get so much bigger. I mean, can you just picture this scene? The big bus is pulling away, and suddenly you hear this tiny little voice yelling, and you see a tiny hand raised commandingly. It's just this incredible moment of pure courage for an 8-year-old. She's not asking for permission. She's commanding her adventure to start, right now. And right from the get-go, Vali makes one thing crystal clear. She is in charge of this adventure. The bus conductor, seeing this little girl, naturally offers her hand to help her up. But Vali, she just brushes it off. She's not a kid being taken for a ride. She's a traveler, and she's doing this on her own terms. Thankfully, the conductor isn't some grumpy guy. He's actually this really jolly, fun-loving person. And instead of getting annoyed, he's just amused by how serious she is. So he plays along, and in this moment of fun, he gives her a nickname that's going to stick for the whole ride. Madam. But Vali, she is not playing along. She shuts that down immediately, her voice totally serious. See, to her, this isn't a game. This trip is the most important thing she's ever done, and she absolutely demands to be taken seriously, just like every other grown-up on that bus. And this right here tells you everything you need to know about how she sees herself. When another passenger, an older man, calls her a child, she fires right back. I've paid my 30 paise like everyone else. In her mind, that ticket, that fare, makes her an equal. It makes her a real customer, not just some little kid who needs to be looked after. Okay, so Madam has paid her fare, she's claimed her seat, and now the real journey begins. As that bus starts to roll, a whole new universe opens up for Vali, right there outside her window. For Vali, it's like the world is blooming right in front of her eyes. Everything is brand new, everything is amazing. The landscapes that she could only ever imagine from her doorway are now rushing past her. A shiny canal, towering palm trees, and these huge green fields stretching all the way to the horizon. And then, all of a sudden, this one moment happens that is just pure, absolute joy. A young cow, its tail straight up in the air, just starts running like crazy right in front of the bus. For Vali, this is the most hilarious, wonderful thing she has ever seen. She's laughing so hard she has tears in her eyes. This cow, in this moment, is the very picture of life and fun. And this is such a key detail about Volley. When the bus finally gets to the busy town, she stays put. Everyone else gets off, but not her. See, she wasn't interested in the town. She paid her 30 paise for a bus ride, and she was determined to get the full round-trip experience. For her, the journey was the destination. It's so interesting, right? You have this incredibly brave little girl who planned and pulled off this entire secret trip by herself. But when the conductor offers to buy her a drink in town, she says she'd be much too afraid. Her courage has its boundaries, and it seems to exist inside the safe, moving bubble of the bus. So the bus turns around and the ride home starts off great, but something is about to change. The whole feeling of this story is about to shift, and Volley is about to learn a lesson she was not at all prepared for. And there it is. That same beautiful, energetic little cow that had filled her with so much laughter just a little while ago is now just lying there, lifeless, on the side of the road. It's a sudden, brutal clash with a reality she didn't know existed. And this, right here, is really the core of the whole story. The author calls this moment her induction into the mystery of life and death. That's a fancy way of saying it's her first real gut punch lesson. It's one thing to hear about death, but it's another thing entirely to see something so full of life one minute and then just gone the next. And just like that, the magic is gone. The world outside the window hasn't changed, but how she sees it has. That beautiful landscape is now tainted by this sad memory. The word the story uses is haunted. That image is just burned into her mind, and all her excitement just drains away. So the bus pulls back into her village. The trip is officially over, but the Volley who gets off that bus is not the same one who got on. She's changed. She gives the conductor a quick, polite goodbye and then runs straight home. She slips back into her house and her mom is just chatting away, talking about how so many things happen in the world without us even knowing, and Valley just agrees. But her mom has no idea how deeply her daughter now understands that. Valley have come back with a secret. A heavy, new understanding of the world. You see, Volley's trip wasn't just about going to town and back. It was about her whole understanding of life and death getting bigger, deeper. It expanded her world on the inside. So I want to leave you with that same idea. What journey, whether it was big or small, really changed the way you see things and made your world feel just a little bit bigger?